All right, everybody, we just bought a new house, and this was the microwave that was here when we got here. The biggest problem with this thing is the handle has broken. You can see it's kind of broken down at the bottom there. So that gave my wife a really good excuse to go buy a new stainless steel microwave. We like the Whirlpool Gold stuff. The GE is pretty good as well, but that's just what we like, the Whirlpool Gold. So she went and bought one of those the other day. It was on sale, and we actually have a new refrigerator and a new dishwasher showing up in about a week and a half or so. But this is in the garage now. I'm going to go ahead and get this switched out. I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is grab yourself a ladder and open your cabinet doors above the microwave and take a look at the way this thing's secured. You've got 3 screws on this one. One there, one here, and one here. It's going to be an actual Phillips head screwdriver that you're going to use to take that out, and you're going to make sure you unplug it as well. Basically, the way this works is these microwaves have a metal bracket that's attached to this wall back here underneath the cabinet behind the microwave. And the way it works is it's got hooks on the very far, let me show you back here, come down the ladder. Basically, right there, you can actually see it. There are hooks that hold the microwave to the wall, one on each side. Actually, this one has 4 all the way along the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that allows the microwave to pivot outward like this. So, and then these screws hold it up into position. So basically, to remove this thing, you remove these 3 screws, it will pivot down, you'll pull the cord out of this hole, and then you'll lift up the backside of the microwave to get it off those hooks, and then just pull it out of position. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a screwdriver and take these bolts out. You can see these screws are quite long, so if you got some sort of electric screwdriver or drill like I just used, that would be the best thing to use for it. So at this point, you're going to go ahead and remove these other 2 screws, and at this point, you've got to make sure you have the bottom front edge of the microwave supported. Otherwise, it's going to just fall when those screws come out, and you don't want that happening. So make sure you've got somebody helping you hold up the bottom here, or put a 2x4 underneath it or something to brace it up and hold it there so it doesn't move. I'm actually going to leave this in just a few turns so I can get off the ladder, because I am on a ladder currently. So I've got that in just a few turns. I'm going to let that support the microwave so I can get down from the ladder. So at this point, you should have something like this. The microwave's kind of, here, I'll actually move the camera. I'll show you real quick. The microwave should be hanging down like this. You've got that one that you left in there with a few threads hanging on. Go ahead and pull your cord through. That way when you go to take your microwave down, you're not getting caught up with the cord. Actually, I'm gonna push it through the top. Okay, so you've got that out. That's out of the way, that's clear. And so again, I'm gonna push up here, just pivot it up. Get that screw out of the way. And this is gonna pivot down. So it's going to pivot like this, and now just lift up the back. And out it comes. So the next step then would be to remove this bracket, because this is what holds. I'm going from a GE to a Whirlpool. If you were keeping the same brand microwave, you might be able to use the same mounting bracket. But since I'm going with a different brand, it's probably going to be different. I'll check it out in just a minute. But most likely going to be different. So we're going to have to change this out. It'll come with the template and everything. I'll show you guys how to do that in just a moment. So you've got your brand new microwave here. Let's get everything open. Take a look, see what we got. So this is going to be your template for the upper cabinet, where to drill the holes and everything. You got your power supply hole here. This edge goes against the rear wall. And then you've got your 2 mounting holes here. If you can see those. This one here, D right there, and E are the mounting holes. So we've got this template here. This actually works from the bottom which I think is kind of silly. It should probably work from the top. But the way you line this up is there's basically two reference points, a center line and then the rear wall. So what you want to do is measure the distance here and make yourself a center line right in the middle on the wall. And then what I'm going to do is tape this into position against that rear wall right on the center line, which I could probably actually eyeball it pretty good based off this. Just kind of put it on the center line there. But I'm going to measure it and do it the right way. That way I know that I've got it in the exact position. So let's measure this out. Looks like I've got pretty much exactly 30 inches, maybe like 30 and an eighth or a 16th. But I'm just going to call it 30 because that's pretty close. So then 15 would be my center line. I'm going to grab a Sharpie and mark that. So right at 15, I'm just going to put a little marker right here so I know where that is. From the inside of this lip right here to this lip right here is where I'm going to measure and get a more accurate measurement there. So that's about 29 and a half. So then 14 3/4 would be the center line from that. So let's measure from here to 14 3/4. Right there should be our center line. I'm going to measure from this side too just to make sure. Yep, so that's our center line. Now I'm going to tape that into position. So what I've got here is just a little finishing nail. Again, I'm just going to take and put it right in the center where that hole needs to go. Just going to give it a few little taps just to kind of mark the area. I'm going to do the same thing here. And on the other side. And those are the only 3 holes I need to make. So should be good. And you can see where I've marked the holes. Just got a little punch mark there, a little punch mark here, a little punch mark there as well. Unfortunately, none of these stinking holes line up, so I gotta make all new holes. But basically what you do is I'm gonna take just a smaller drill bit here and run a pilot hole before I try to drill those big holes. Because that'll make it a little easier. Okay. So according to the template, we needed 3H holes for the 2 mounting holes, and then we need 1.5 inches for the other one. So I've got my 3/8 inch drill bit here, and I've got 1.5 inch hole saw. You could use like a wood drill bit as well. I don't know where my wood drill bits are at. I just moved, like I said. So I'll be using that hole saw. Pre-drilling for my 1.5 inches. So the next thing to tackle is this bracket. Obviously, we're using a different bracket, so the first thing that has to happen is this bracket has to get the heck out of the way. So unfortunately, there's not a template for this here, but basically what you're going to do is work off your center line one more time. Make sure you center the bracket on that center line, and you're going to measure either 15 5/8 to the hole that you're going to use, or 17 21 64ths, which I'll find a better freaking number for that because that's just crazy talk, to the bottom of the mounting plate. So 15 5/8 is where they're saying they want the holes to be from the bottom of this upper cabinet. I think 15 5/8 is right about there, so we're actually damn near where we need to be, right there with the current holes. I'll go ahead and measure the other one just for the sake of measurements, but it looks like we can reuse the same holes. 15 5/8 is right there, so yeah. Okay, so I did some quick math, and the closest I could find to 17 21 64ths is if you round that 21 to a 20, divide by 4 to get 16ths, you're going to get 5/16. So I went ahead and marked that here, 17 5/16, 17 5/16. That's where you want the bottom of this bracket to go. So basically, you want to find your center line, and I should probably go ahead and mark that right here to make sure I get that exactly centered. Or I could just kind of eyeball it like this and make sure that the distance between these two on the edge are equidistant. And then I want to see where these holes line up on my bracket. So it looks like those two marks right there are going to be the closest spot to the stud. And I'm going to check just to see if there's a stud there by, again, taking my finishing nail and just hammering it in place, see if I hit a stud. And I hit one there, so we're good. I can almost guarantee this is on one because it's really close to the other hole. Oh. So actually, it seems like that was right on the edge of the stud, the previous hole. So I'm going to try to find one that is close to that. Let's just test here real quick to make sure there's not a stud there. There is one there. Let's try this again. So that one actually should work. So I'm going to use this hole and this hole. And again, I'm just going to verify there's still a stud there by putting my finishing nail in there. Yes, we are good. So I'm going to pre-drill these holes just a little bit smaller than my lag screws and go ahead and get this bracket installed.